Welcome to the NCBOLD presentation. AI's got more bounce in Carolina and all y'all combined. I'm excited to hang out with you today to share more about AI in education. I'm Dr. April Debord. Let's get started. If you'd like to learn more about how this presentation aligns to the ISTE digital learning competencies, you can find the information below by pausing the presentation here. We're going to talk about Standard 1 Learner, Standard 2 Leader, Standard 4 Collaborator, and Standard 5 Designer. Today, we're going to dive into the exciting world of artificial intelligence and conversations using those tools for learning. The purpose here is to empower you with practical strategies for enhancing your teaching and student success through the strategic use of AI-powered conversations. I hope you'll have fun today designing and beginning your own conversations with AI tools. Also, brainstorming with other people about their ideas and designs they have for their classrooms and situations. Let's face it, agendas are kind of boring, but what if you had a poetry remix? Today's agenda in poetry. A whimsical blend of tech and imagination, AI arrived to save the day. It brought new ways to learn and delight. What is AI? A curious child asked. To process, decide, and even compare? Personalizing paths, drawing new lines. It's a world of possibilities, if you please. Yet, challenges loom in this wondrous tale. Balance is key in this digital race. Aligning with ISTE standards we find, with AI we turn a brilliant page. Designing with care, AI must be sound. An AI-powered class so dear. Tools of magic, platforms galore. AI's power is never in vain. Implement wisely, start small, and grow. With AI, we strive to be our best. In groups, we discuss, brainstorm with glee. Together we learn, together we grew. AI in education, a transformative scene. With AI, we craft a teaching art. AI in education, a new golden age. With all of our NC Bold presentations, you'll find we have a think sheet. You can use this think sheet to jot down any ideas that you generate during the presentation. Click on the picture to find a link and then click File, make a copy if you'd like to edit. I also have some paper versions for face-to-face. One way I really like to present myself is by GIF story. So I use these GIFs in order to show you just a few things about myself. I really love puns and traveling and education. Of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I went to Western Carolina, Auburn, and Gardner Webb for my degrees, and I love music and salt. Of course, I also love tea. So excited to hang out with you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day of learning and growing. Let's talk a little bit about our understanding of AI in education. To do that, we'll look at the definition of AI in education, the pros and cons, and we'll talk about how we can support the development of digital learning competencies among educators and students. Here's a simple definition of AI in Ed: integrating and applying artificial intelligence technologies within the classroom to enhance teaching and learning experiences. I'd like you to think about your definition of AI in education and jot it down on your think sheet. Some of the pros of AI in education are the fact that we can have personalized learning. We can tailor our curriculum and have adaptive assessments. We can have enhanced engagement, interactive learning tools, and virtual tutors. And we can have efficiency and accessibility, automated grading, and resource allocation. Some of the cons are equity and access. There's a digital divide, and there are also biases in AI algorithms. There are privacy and security concerns, data privacy and cybersecurity risks, and teacher and student adaptation, resistance to change, and also the training requirements for AI may not be sound yet because it's just beginning. So let's talk a little bit together. If you were in the presentation, we would now be talking about how we can support the development of those DLCs among educators and students. So you can brainstorm about your own situation and think about how you might support those digital learning competencies among your stakeholders. With AI, it's important to think about designing prompts, quality prompts that we can teach others and ourselves to design in order to get the answers to the questions that we have. One way to do this is using Vera Cubero's Craft a Power Prompt. So we look at the context, the role, the audience, the format, and the task and the tone. This is a great presentation or poster for your classroom in order to think about how can we craft a prompt that will get us the end result that we would like as we're using AI. Context, role, audience, format, task, and tone. So now that we've thought about how to design our prompts using that craft prompt, we are going to look at some tools that you can explore on your own. There are 4 different sections, and we're going to look at each one together. The nice thing about doing this in video format is that you have time to explore on your own. There are 4 links here for chatbot characters, so you can think about how you might implement a chatbot character in your classroom with your content or even with your teachers that you're training in order to start that conversation about your topic or start that conversation about your learning that you want your students to do. It's just a really creative way. You can actually have a lot of super fun content and super fun context for your students to see those characters in action. Check out these 4 sites. One of the beautiful things about a curriculum that my county used was the connection to art. So even if you don't teach art, you can use art and AI to kind of bring things alive. I went to a presentation by one of my colleagues, David Madigan, here at NCBOLD, and he talked about how he uses AI to create new works of art with his students by using a prompt and a style, and then they compare those and have conversations about them. I thought that was such an amazing idea. And so I found these 4 kind of tools to help you start creating art or start developing things that relate to your situation, your context. So check out these 4 links here. As a language teacher, I love having a conversation in another language, and you might be able to challenge your students to start learning or growing in another language. You might have that desire yourself to start learning. You can use your mobile phone as a conversation partner with ChatGPT to have a conversation. You can also use AI powered tools here and tutors to kind of give you a leg up in that learning. So even having a conversation in another language is getting easier with AI. Have you ever wanted to provide better feedback for your students or your colleagues, and maybe even a tutor who can help? These 3 tools here, Magic School, School AI, and ChatGPT, can provide those things. If you want to provide better feedback, you could paste your students' work into ChatGPT and ask it to give feedback, and then you have something to work with. You can always add in your own information. With School AI, you can actually set up a tutor for your course and provide that link to your students. It doesn't mean that they have access to the whole entire world, it's just your content. And they're actually able to ask questions that they may have or may not even feel comfortable to ask to you. And you're able to see those questions and kind of look and see what people are asking about as they go to it. Magic School has a billion tools for you to use, and there are pay versions of each of these, but there are also free versions, and it's kind of awesome to see what you're able to do with those tools to provide better feedback and even tutors. Lastly, you can use tools like Gemini, Claude 3, and ChatGPT to ask questions and also to create and recreate resources that you've already had. So you could paste in a resource that you created and ask one of these tools to help you make it better. You can do a lot of amazing things that I had to do for grad school. You can ask it to make a table with your information in APA format version 6. You can ask a lot of great things to these tools to help you create and recreate resources for your classroom so that you don't have to then go spend your time doing that as well. You can also teach your students to use these tools to save time and to help them learn and grow. Now that you've had a chance to explore, I hope you got to pause the video and go look at some of those awesome resources. We're going to look at designing our own lesson. What is something that kind of piqued your interest, and how can you design something that relates to your practice using one of these AI tools? I hope you'll take some time to kind of think about those ideas that you have and for yourself design a lesson that you could use this year as you prepare for your school year. Some of you may have already started if you're year round. Some of you may be in just the beginning stages of getting ready to go back mid August or even at the beginning of August. So I'm excited to see what designs you have, and I'll put a link here so you can share those ideas that you have as you watch this video. So now let's think about how we can implement those ideas. So we have a lot of great things, a lot of great designs, and maybe you have a lot of just kind of things floating around up there with the ideas that you've heard from those things that we had to explore. So now we're going to look at brainstorming together and kind of see what we can come up with the designs and ideas of other people. I'd like you to think about these three questions. Which tools did you explore? How would you like to utilize it? And how can AI impact your practice? And I'd like you to share at the link below just some ideas that you have to share with others. Lastly, how will this AI knowledge affect you this year? So reflect on that and kind of make an action plan for yourself to at least include AI, maybe even just once a month or once a week, to kind of showcase that for your students and show them how they can apply it to their own lives. I'd love for you to share your personal takeaway and an action item. If we're in class, I will ask the people who are in the presentation to share with a partner. I know you can't share with a partner, but I'd really like you to think about your personal takeaway and one action item that you'd like to do for this year. Thanks so much for joining me. Super excited to see what you design and how you implement it in your classrooms this year. So please stay in touch.